How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massa Beer Reviews back with, one of these little, what do I like to call them? Little mini episodes, short takes, whatever. Basically what happened was my camera messed up, and I just reviewed this beer, so we're going to do a quick recap of it, because I feel like talking about it. So this is a dry Irish Stout from Opportunity Brewing. Yeah, it's Sligo Stout. It's 4.2%, traditional-esque kind of dry Irish Stout. I reviewed one of their beers almost a year ago, and like last week, the owner actually contacted me. He's like, "Hey man, I saw your video. I kind of, enjoyed what you said. Even though it wasn't a glowing review, he appreciated what I said. He's like, I'd like to get you some more beers." So he dropped off a mixed 4-pack, and I wanted to dive in this one because it's 4.2%. It is brutally hot outside. I like these as kind of warm weather beers. I know most people think stouts, they think, oh, only for wintertime and all that kind of stuff, but not for me. Especially in the low ABV thing, so I figured I'd give it a whirl. Now, this is probably closer to 50 degrees when I drank it. I usually like my low ABV dry Irish stouts to be closer to 40 as more of a drinkability thing, but it ended up bringing out a lot of the beer. On the nose, it is almost lactose level kind of creaminess. And then you get a little bit of soft bittering, not too crazy, but it's the chocolate as the star of the show. It's pretty much like a middle ground level of chocolate, in that you get this kind of not baker's, not milk chocolate kind of thing going on. Once you actually dive into the taste, it's still all about the chocolate in here, but it definitely leans a little bit more towards baker chocolate because you have a decent amount of bittering show up. That's an Americanized version of the beer, in that it's a little bit more bittering than we typically get from your kind of dry Irish stouts. So there's a bit of bittering from the roasted malt, a bit of bittering from hops, and it ends up leaning a little bit more bitter than what I'm used to. Now, that cold part that I was talking about, drinking it more towards 40 degrees, might curb that a little bit, but I found it enjoyable because it kind of accentuated the chocolate portion of the show, brought it down a little bit more towards that baker's chocolate, which I appreciate, and then in traditional manner, it definitely finishes dry. It lacked that little lactose thing I got on the nose and the taste, as far as taste goes, but as far as mouthfeel, it delivered a nice, soft, creamy mouthfeel. And honestly, a really well-made dry Irish Stout. I mean, not a lot of people make these beers, for good reason, because not a lot of people buy them. But listen, Opportunity Brewing are all about this Irish kind of heritage thing, and if you are a Irish American craft brewery and you don't make a dry Irish Stout, then you're basically, you lose your card. I think that's the owner told me. And it's true, man. You have to make this beer. And it's not an easy beer to make well, especially at a low ABV. Super impactful. Drinks more like 6.5%, 7% than 4.25. And a really well done version of this beer. Something that I would like to get a 4-pack of and actually chug or alternate between beers. This is a really good session beer when it's cold and you're drinking it back and forth with a low ABV pale ale, something like that. But all intents and purposes, zero of that bittering kind of metallic astringency I get on a lot of lower ABV beers. That's the first thing that really did jump out to me. They get zero detection of that. I'm super susceptible to that. So that in of itself is really fucking cool. And the beer as a whole, just in general, just drank traditional enough to be in the wheelhouse of a dry stout, a dry Irish stout, but that bittering brought a little bit kind of pizzazz to the beer that you don't normally get in a lot of those. It is one of the better ones I've had as of late. Is it Mount Rushmore status? I don't have a ton, so almost default into there. In the grand scheme of things, it's really good, wants to be there. It's probably outside of it in the whole, but that doesn't diminish how tasty the beer is. Value and availability, I'm hoping this comes in and give it right around $12 a 4-pack. And if you like these kind of beers, you'll dig this. I mean, this is a hard market to kind of get into. People that hang their hat on dry Irish stouts, really traditional, so they stick with their Guinness, their Boddingtons, those kind of beers. So rarely do they venture outside of that comfort zone. But if they did, I think they'd really enjoy it. So if you like dry Irish stouts, you like traditional beers, you like those kind of beers, this will definitely do you. So there you go. A little review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Massive Beers, social media stuff, Beer Massive, podcasting stuff. Hopefully you're enjoying some good beer right now. Hope we'll see you next time. Cheers.